Hello, this is the back end side for I'm looking at time and people for who's on location. So I'm basically showing this is the administrative control panel, and when I logged in based upon the roles that I'm assigned, I'll have different options here. I'm going to concentrate on some of the basic roles, and that is the sign in, sign out manager. So for most of us, that's going to be our front reception desk people that are on the first floor, and there's usually a group of maybe 8 to 10 people that rotate in and out of that position. So they would each have their own login, and when they go into this login, they can see what's happening with visitor management for today. This first screen that comes up is different than the other products that we've looked at because it's basically a screen showing all of the pre-registrations. That is when you've done a bulk registration either by a Google Calendar appointment where you've included visitor at timeandpeople.com in your invite list so that it would send the customized welcome packet out to the users, or this will show ones that have been manually uploaded either by hand, one at a time, or a group that was uploaded, say, through an Excel comma separated value file. You could pre-register guests, and they would also get the packet. Pre-registration greatly expedites large groups because you can do things with this product such as pre-print all of the badges and then just simply sit down there at the PC on the screen and check them in as they arrive and pick up their badge. So that can expedite the process and take it away from having to do it on the iPad. Or you could give them the actual badges, and because they have the code on them, such as like this, if this were a pre-printed badge, then the user could actually swipe this in front of the machine to check in and to check out, so it can be done that way. So what you're seeing here is like right now today I've got 32 people coming in for this training. And so in this 32, the way this system groups them is instead of showing you all 32 and kind of messing up the list, it groups them. So when you click on them, you can see all of these people, that are coming in. And if I was actually somebody stationed down there with the PC and I wanted to work with this, I could sit there and say, sign in, and it basically will bring up them, and I can go click, 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 click. I can sign them in as they pick up their badges. I can pre-print their badges from here. I can do whatever I need to do for doing the badges. We did test. We were able to pre-print the badges at a remote workstation with a Dymo label printer. It did require some setup and a plug-in to be installed in Internet Explorer. Would not work in Chrome, but it was a really nice way to pre-print these badges at another station, not having to print them at the iPad badge printer at the first floor. We are talking about having, no matter which system we go with, we will have 3 iPads stationed, one at the front reception desk, and one on the left wall, and one on the right wall, in yet to be determined kiosks. We also are trying to look for, a kiosk that's wheelchair accessible, so the height will have to be lower for that type of devices. Most of the devices that we've seen that we can purchase are for stand-up. So this is where we'd see that. Now here's the screen that I usually like being in most of the time, is I like being in the signed in visitors. I like this screen because this screen is actively showing me right now what's happening. So I can see that these individuals are currently checked in. I can see who they're visiting. This view columns is really nice because you can add some additional fields to show up. I kind of liked having the photo one here because this was handy if I'm sitting in the lobby and I notice that somebody's been sitting there for a while, that someone hasn't picked them up. And it's real nice because I can just sit there and I can look at their photo, and then from there I can sit there and help or assist in finding that person who they're looking to see. Now when this person checked in, as with all the visitor management systems we looked at, when they checked in, Christine Burke would have got an email notification. If Christine Burke had supplied, and we will do this in the actual real production, had her cell phone number in there, she would also have gotten the email and the text message, so if she herself was in a meeting, that this person is waiting for her. So that's the basic way that you can go through the system. All right. We have another video where we showed what's happening from the visitor perspective. So this is just showing, the back end, what's going on with that. So I can sign people out if they forget to, or to sign them out manually. Again, if I have a large group and they're checking out, I can go click, 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 click and sign them out. I can do an action down here, so I can select them all and do a quick action here. The other one I want to go back to is on this main screen. This is where I can do what we call manual visitor sign-in. So if somebody does not want to go through the kiosk, I can sit there and I can put in so see Peter Wolf comes up from ABC Company because he's someone who's been here before. So, the first time registration, yes, there's a lot of information that you have to give up. We're asking for a photo. It helps both with the person that you're coming to see so that they know who you are when they come down. It can help in the emergency evacuation, trying to find an individual. But if a person doesn't want to take a picture, just have them step to the side and click the button to continue. System is just very safety minded. With the cell phone number, it's a similar thing. We need that cell phone number. If they're not going to give us a cell phone number, we're going to provide them a dummy cell phone number to put in there so that we can track who's not compliant or doesn't want to be compliant, so we know what the issue is with that. And when we see that number in an evacuation situation, we know it's a dummy cell phone number and that we will not be able to contact that person and verify them safe. So I'm doing Peter Wolf, and he's from ABC Company. Again, these are some standard things. It does require that, where are they from? We can, again, just have standard stuff like the fake phone number, the fake company, NA, not applicable, and fake email addresses if people are, refusing to give the information or that they just don't have it. So are you visiting someone? Yes. It does remember who they were visiting last time. So again, we're expediting. The first time, yes, you're going to take a couple minutes to sign in. But if you're coming here for a reoccurring frequent meeting, it does remember where you're at and who you're going to see. And it'll prompt you on the iPad. If that's the same, then you just, say yes. Otherwise, you can change who you're visiting. So next. Do you require assistance in the evacuation? This is for, again, it's all about safety. So this basically puts them into a special group that needs to be, priority cleared during an emergency evacuation event. And so we have that information by asking this question. Okay, so this is a photo capture. This is a previous photo that was taken on the iPad. Again, they can retake it, but they don't have to. Again, this is just doing it manual. And right here, I can print their pass. So if I just sat there and said kiosk print pass, then this is downstairs is going to print the pass. Again, the pass will look just like this. It'll have the visitor information on there, and it has the barcode for expediting the sign out. So if I want to sign this person out, here I see that they were notified by text message and an email that was sent to me, so I got both of those. I'll show you real quick what that looks like. So there's my email notification that Peter Wolf from ABC Company has arrived at main lobby 1, and he's here for me, and there's this mobile number. So I have the information that I have to pick up my guest. And if you can see that, this is basically my text message that I've got, and I've got a link that I can click on and dial that person back and tell them that I'm on my way down or give them further instructions. So I have the text message as well. Okay. Again, the person can sign themselves out with their badge, or I can simply click on the person here and I can sign them out, and it takes them off the list, and now it's registered. So that's the basics for what I can do, with that. Go back to Sign-In Manager. This is where I can do my pre-registered visitors. Again, the easiest way to do it is really with like an Outlook or a Google Calendar appointment using the additional email address. But I also can do it here. So I can do pre-registered visitors, and that are down here. I can create groups. So if I actually put registered visitors into groups, in doing that, I could sit there and say, like, take all the 12 board members, and I can do a pre-registration and select the board members, and it'll automatically add the 12. You can have frequent visitors, which just makes it easier, when you're creating these groups. And then this is where you create, a pre-registered visitor. So you can create an event for today at noon to 1 o'clock. It's a non-reoccurring event. Who are they here to see? And then this little message will just be just a little message that shows up on for the receptions on the reception portal down there. They can see this little message about the group or the people that I'm checking in. So then I just simply then have to add visitors. I can add a visitor manually. I can add it from the frequent visitor list. I can add it from a group. So if I had that board member group built, I could do that. Or I can actually do it from an Excel file. So if I have a class registration, or let's say that I sent an Excel spreadsheet that I get from here, and I just email it out and I go, hey, please populate all the people that are going to be registered for this event and send me back the spreadsheet, and I can suck in the spreadsheet and build my list from that. I'm just going to do a small one here. And then I'll add them to the frequent list. Okay, so then I've got this person built. And that's basically it. So I've got this event set up, and this person's coming in today. So now I see today I've got, 2 different pre-registered events happening. I've got Peter Wolf coming in, today at 12 p.m. And then I've got the large group, that's expected to come in today, this morning. So that's basically doing the check-ins. And then under reporting, I have my people presence. So this is really where you get to the meat and potatoes of it. So you can sit there and look at the number of visitors, that we're having on a given day. And then you can actually go to the view report, and you can get all of the, information on there, and you can export that information. But we would have, visitor information to be able to look at trends, high times, peak times, days of the week when we're the busiest. It also could track, for the service providers. It categorizes people into employees, service providers, and visitors. System in some companies is used as the employee management system in lieu of like badges, like what we do. There is an evacuation module. I'm not going to go in and show the actual evacuation module, but it's really slick. Basically, you set up safety wardens, and when you set up the safety wardens that are on there, and again, all driven by text messaging, when I create an event, like a tornado drill, it sends out immediately a text message to all my safety wardens / captains that there is an event. They simply click on the link and it opens up their browser, and they're able to go in and look at the event as it's happening. So with these events, you basically will show all the employees that are currently checked in, which we check in all the employees by default each day and check them out at night, all the visitors and all the contractors that are on site. So it shows them, and then if we verify them safe, it allows us to clear zones because it knows all of our zone information has been put into the system, so we can see, who was on what floor or what zone was cleared. Probably a better example would be like something like this. So we'd have to put our actual people, into the zones and where they live, but then we can actually, the safety captains clear the zones first, then they clear the users out. And because we're using the SMS, if we can't find someone, we can send an SMS out to all the people that are visitors or all the people that are staff and say, please verify you are safe. And they respond that they are safe in the text message, which then, clears them and that we know that they're safe. And then we have all of this information, in an exportable PDF file for an auditor, that we completed a drill, it was done, who was involved, what zones were cleared, what issues we had, everything would be, inside of this report. And then also it does the messaging. So all of the messaging that goes back and forth between all the safety captains is timestamped and tracked. So this is, again, another log of everything that happened during the drill or the actual event had it been an actual emergency. So really, really built for, safety of users. And that's what I'm going to conclude for this, just showing some of the back-end tools. Pre-registration. Oh, there's one other thing I want to show you. Hold on. Last thing I did want to show you is pre-registration not only helps, with the management of people down in the lobby, but one of the other things that pre-registration does is it sends this welcome packet. And this welcome packet really puts a nice professional touch on people's first impression when they come to your building or your site for the first time and every time that they come. So for outside people, when they are pre-registered, either through one of the two methods, they get an email, and their email basically is going to look like this with the appointment per normal, so they have a calendar invite that they can accept in Google or in Outlook. But look at how it does this. It sits there and creates a nice professional with whom you're coming to meet with, at what time, where. This is a Google map, so you can click on this and navigate from where you are to us. Plus then it has all your host details, contact information. And check this out, if they bring this in with their phone and bring up this message, or they print this out, they can expedite their sign-in by simply swiping their barcode. So when we do pre-registrations, we're greatly going to, help people with the signing in process and make it less cumbersome, much more professional. These are totally customizable. The instructions on arrival that they need to report to the front desk after coming in. Evacuation instructions and information, and we can click to external maps, parking tips, and then for those people that are traveling afar, it's going to sit there and tell them, accommodations that are nearby, again with mapping and Google Map capabilities, airport, cafe, local food restaurants, and taxi communications, and all attachments are also included right here, for them to look at. So a very, very nice, highly customizable welcome packet that just puts the icing on the cake for the visitor management experience. It also will send another email that if it's a first-time visitor, it will ask them and it will tell them, why we want their cell phone and that we'll be asking for their photo so they can expedite their login. And again, once you do it once, then it's a piece of cake every time after that. You just have to, type in your name the same way when you come in so that it pre-registers and knows you, and then you can update any information that you need to on the confirmation screen, but you're good to go. So, all right, and that's it.